Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me today is Mike Brinker.
Good afternoon, everybody.
How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's a wonderful day here in Columbia, Illinois. We're coming to you from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios here at Top Shooters, where I just had a chef salad. For those of you interested, I had a salad for lunch, okay?
Big salad.
It was a big salad, but it's still a salad.
The Elaine.
It counts.
Yes.
It counts.
Yes. I drank water.
You did drink water. I had a salad. So anyway, today we're going to be smoking another Villiger selection.
Kind of a thank you selection today.
Exactly. It's a nice thank you selection. So we're going to be smoking the Villiger. What is that word there? It's the Black Forrest. It's their Maduro cigar there, and
which was included in the Pulpit Fest
goodie bag. Yep.
Thanks again, Villiger.
Thanks, exactly. Villiger, Renee. It's a great time. Thank you so much. But you know what? It's Ask the Boys. So That's what we're doing today is Ask the Boys. So why don't we go ahead, get the business out of the way so we can get into the phone calls. So let's cut the cigar. The official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And guys, this episode comes out on Friday. Literally tomorrow is Dan's annual party. He's got the cigar rollers out there. He's going to have a musician.
Food.
Food. I mean, weather's looking really, really good.
I'll be there signing autographs.
Oh, well, look at you.
Hey, when you do 5-6 episodes, you can start,
At some point, you start bringing out the 8x10s.
Yeah.
The glossies.
The glossies.
Got the glossies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's looking like it's going to... it has all the makings of a great event. So if you're in the St. Louis area, swing on by Riverman Cigar Company. If you're not in the St. Louis area, he does do mail order, so you can still support a brick and mortar shop by giving him a call and placing an order, and he'll get that shipped out to you right away. But that's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. And with that, it's time we go ahead and cut the cigar. So, time to cut.
I am putting a V cut on mine.
Oh, see now? Okay, I was literally just getting ready to straight cut, but now I'm going to do the same. Because...
I only did it because that's all I brought was a V cutter.
Oh, well, I was thinking it might be easier, but whatever. Oh, we got a little weekend going on here.
There's always a little weekend going on somewhere around here.
It's like a chocolatey sweetness.
I was going to say, I get a little sweetness that I wasn't expecting out of it.
It's a chocolatey sweetness. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Makes me wonder how, by about midway through, that's going to hit.
I don't know. But it's time to fire up and find out, because I want to get this thing going.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. I do have other cigars, because this is just Robusto, and Lord knows how some of these phone calls might go. We might be going for a little bit. But
and we're a little windy out here today.
It is a little windy, so this might be one of two cigars in this show for me. Lights, super quick and easy. I'll tell you that kind of chocolatey sweetness still kind of remains in the beginning, but it does kind of very early on. You get a little bit more going on with it.
Was that your official retro hail?
No, I haven't done a retro hail. Oh, I guess I'll do one right off the foot. Why not? Okay. Why not? Get it going.
The wind caught my flame a little bit.
Wind caught a lot of my... Hang on. Ooh.
So what do we get?
It's not black pepper. It's almost like a little bit of a chili powder. Maybe like a little chili powder. Maybe.
Well, that is a popular flavor combination.
Yeah. The chocolate and chili. Yeah. I don't know, a little bit, just a little tingle. It's good. I'm digging it. So, now that we've kind of got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and do this? Maybe. There it is.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner!
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on, indeed. It is time for
The timing on that.
for Ask the Boys. And this is where we answer your listener calls, questions, concerns, whatever it is
Whatever's
that
on your
prompted
mind.
you to call in. Exactly. So, we'll go ahead and we'll just start at the beginning and move our... Oh, my God. All right, well... Oh, these aren't so bad. So, I'm looking at the timestamps on them to see like how long they are. This person called 3 times, and I wanted to be like, did we max out the 3-minute time limit on each one?
9-minute question.
Yeah, no. So, all right. So, first call here. Is my app going to be doing that stupid thing? Yep, it's doing that stupid thing.
Hello, this is Teddy, a.k.a. Talking Gorilla.
What's up,
I got
Teddy?
a question. And I said I'll ask the boy because there's no boys to ask.
I always find a boy.
Plus that.
Didn't mean that way.
So, to the question. Damn, I forgot the question. Damn.
Tick
okay,
tock,
you know
Teddy.
what? I'm going to call back because I honestly forgot the question. Toodles. Thanks.
This is why you shouldn't,
We need a screener.
This is why you shouldn't wake and bake and call the hotline at the same time because, things like this happen. All right, next call here from Teddy. Maybe he remembered the question. Oh, wait.
Okay, I remember the question. So before I forget it, the question is, shit.
God damn it, Teddy.
Damn it. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to call back. I'm going to write it down this time, and then I'll ask the question, okay? AKA Smoking Gorilla. Yeah, y'all know the shit. Come on. All right, bye.
3 strikes and you're
I
out.
was going to say, this is your last shot here, man, so you better have remembered this one this time.
Okay, this is Teddy, a.k.a. The Smoking Gorilla. And damn it, I got a question. And I'm going to ask the boy because there are no boys.
There's a bar.
Again, that's the goddamn title of the thing. This is what I don't get. We're going to call this Ask the Boys, and there's no boys. There's a boy. One boy. And sometimes there's a guest. Sometimes it's another guest. Sometimes it's several guests. But I digress. Guess and digress. That rhymes. Okay. So if y'all haven't kind of figured out, I'm a little bit, maybe a little bit tiny itty bitty titty bitty high.
No.
So here's my question. Why did the mushroom go to the party?
Oh, God.
Because he's a fun guy. Okay, later, taters. Bye. Thanks.
All that for that.
I was going to say that was a long reach.
That was a long reach to get there. Teddy, I always find somebody to do this bit with. What are you talking about? I don't think I've done Ask the Boys by myself.
No, not that I've noticed.
Maybe I did last month? I don't think I've done Ask the Boys by myself.
No.
If I have, I've done it one time.
I think last time was with the Smoking Butts guys.
No, it was going to be. We never did it.
Oh.
Maybe I did do it by myself last time. Anyway, the bottom line is...
No, your dad.
That's right.
Papa
my dad
Bear was
did
in
it
town.
last time.
Papa Bear was in town for the race.
So, yeah, I don't... fuck, man. I don't know. Bottom line is, I always find somebody. So it's always Ask the Boys. If it's Pinky, then it's going to be, Ask the Boy and Pinky. But
Ask them.
Ask them. Yes, I need to get my pronouns
Pronouns.
straight. But, the bottom line is I figure it out. I always have another person in the second chair for this bit. Anyway, thanks for the call, Teddy. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Teddy.
All right, moving on. Next call here.
Hey, Nick. It's Reno in Maryland.
What's up, Reno?
How you doing, buddy? Question for you. With regards to cigars that are may have been damaged or just can't stay lit, and the humidity level was fine when you started. You checked it out, so on and so forth. Question is, do you, if you find a cigar that's damaged, do you call the manufacturer? Do you try and get a hold of the manufacturer and get it replaced, or take it back to the shop where you bought it? How often does that happen? I know you had a brief stint in the cigar shop there at Riverman's. How often did you see that happen? And do people do that normally? And because it's happened to me a few times, but I just don't go through the process of calling anybody or doing anything about it. But how often do you see that happen in your how often have you seen that happen? Anyway, hope you're well, bud. Hey, I really enjoyed that. And have him on again. He was a joy. Talk to you, bud.
Oh, dude, Reno, you cut out. I don't know who you enjoyed having on.
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe my dad. I don't know. But we'll see. Whatever. Let me know. Okay, so your question actually has a couple different areas that I want to cover.
Which actually we can cover pretty good today with what we've done together.
Exactly. Between you and I, between our various experiences, I want to cover it kind of as a consumer and also as like a shop employee. So like, I can tell you flat out, during my brief period of time at Riverman, I never had a customer come in and tell me, hey, I bought this, it didn't burn right, it was whatever, I want a replacement. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, just means that on my one night a week that I was working there,
right,
I never encountered
and
it.
Riverman does a ton of business in and out too, so
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of them there smoking it,
Yeah.
right away. Now me, as someone who ran a shop for many years, I did see it from time to time. More of it in-house because we had alcohol in a bar, so people would be smoking it there. Sometimes something would happen. A lot of times it was owner-operator error, especially after a few cocktails. But sometimes just there's some bad sticks. You'd see one that damn near looked like you pulled a twig out of it.
Yeah.
What we would do is obviously replace it right away. We never really saw a lot of people come back with like a stick out of a box or something that they had purchased and come back and said, hey, this was, etc. Not smoking well or damaged, or just a lot of people just wrote it up to sometimes that happens with a naturally rolled product.
And that's the thing I wanted to touch on, is that like these are all handmade, natural, artisan products, so where you're going to have some that just don't work right. And so like, at least for me personally, if I have one where the burn is not, acting correctly, or if maybe there's a crack and, whatever, I chalk it up to, look, the humidification in the humidor may not have been great, and I missed it. I may have done something inadvertently. I have my travel case here. And sometimes maybe I get a little over-industrious and put too many in there.
Right.
And the pressure. And, there's the foam on either end, but maybe the pressure, with nothing in the middle cracks.
And some
something.
sticks are more susceptible.
Exactly.
Especially a Connecticut. Some of these really fine, great smoking high-end Connecticut's have a more temperamental wrapper on.
Precisely. So it's one of those things where, like, I very rarely ever complain. I will say if I'm like at a lounge and I'm chilling out there and the thing just, and again, it can't be something that I can even perceive as owner-operator. But if it just will not light, just will not
or
stay
won't draw,
lit,
just completely
just
plugged, nothing
plugged
you can
up
do.
or something like that.
A lot of times I will say, hey.
I'll mention it and just be like, look, man, this one's a dud. Can I just swap it out for the same thing?
And with us, the people know us there at the lounges we hang out at. They know we're not just trying to, smoke half a cigar and get another free one.
Precisely.
Which is a big deal, The more you can hang out and socialize with your local brick and mortar, the easier it is to have an issue resolved to where everyone's happy.
Oh, for sure. Relationships matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you just walk in, grab your stuff, leave, don't, just try to get a little conversation. If you can meet the owner when they're there. Most cigar shops you can, touch base every once in a while. Not every time. You don't have to do it all the time. Just simple, hey, yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
so they know you.
Goes a long way.
Because they want to keep you happy because word of mouth is so important for brick and mortar shops.
And I'll say it's one of those things, too. If you are buying a specific brand and a specific type of cigar, and over time you come to realize, man, this thing burns consistently badly all the time. This thing, 1 out of every 2 of these that I buy is plugged up. The wrapper is extraordinarily fragile and is always cracking on me. At that point, look, you can say something, or you can do what I just tend to do, which is I move on and find something else to smoke. There's plenty of other good cigars out there. The over time, the weak fall away, so like that cigar is going to eventually die out at some point anyway, just because of the fact that it is constructed poorly and badly.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I operate with it. But
and there's no avenue to reach out to a manufacturer, really.
I mean, well, there's
as a single consumer,
there's the douchiest way, in my opinion, which is social media,
right?
Where you can go into like one of their groups or something like that and be like, I bought this, blah blah blah, and look at these pictures, and it's this like hollowed out, burned up husk of a cigar, and this is outside. This is poor quality. What are you going to do about it? And then that manufacturer's right there, and they feel obligated to take care of it and everything else. And so when I see that, typically, I don't see it as an actual valid consumer complaint. I see it as a very obvious dry bag for give me free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I won the lottery and had a bad example or a bad experience with your product, so now give me like a $50 ashtray or something
right, because it's going to be swag. They're not going to send you a box of cigars.
But you're going to get like nice stuff out of it or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm definitely not in favor of the going on social media and lighting somebody up, for that kind of a thing. But anyway, I hope that answers the question. Do you have any more to add to that?
Not really.
Okay.
Like I said, just really try to get a good relationship with your brick and mortar.
It does count for a lot.
It counts for a lot, especially if you're a constant box buyer.
Oh, definitely, because that's how you can get some. Well, I mean, let's be real. Sometimes the swag comes in and it's like a couple of hats instead of a hat for everybody.
Right.
So things like that. If you're into that stuff, I have enough of that stuff. I don't need any more. Although I gave a bunch of it away this past weekend. So I'm pretty happy about that. Teddy's loaded up with fucking Drew Estate stuff. It's great.
I didn't get anything.
That's on you. The tub was here. You brought something. You added to the pile. Anyway. All right. Moving on to the next call here. Thank you, Reno. Appreciate it. Good call. Maybe.
Hi, Nick. This is Rob. I'm listening to the episode you're talking about running into Mickey Peg, and had an idea for a show for you.
Oh, boy.
Your podcast expertise might be able to tweak this a little bit, but what I'm thinking would be great, and even at Pulpit Fest, record all the stories that us listeners that can't make the trip out this year don't get to hear, all the Mike Off stories, record them, but then redact them like a CIA file with all the blackout on it,
That would take a month.
All you'll have to hear is and then Beep said that he thinks Beep is a huge jerk and makes terrible cigars, and this is talking about Beep, and then let all the listeners just fill in what they think everybody's deepest, darkest secrets is. That can make for an interesting little thought experiment episode, but wanted to share that with you just in case you needed a couple of show ideas for maybe when you're flying solo or just something a little interesting. Thanks. Love the show, guys, and stay safe and stay smoky.
You know, I really like that idea. I just, for the life of me, I don't know if Mickey or anybody would trust me to properly, like, censor that.
Right.
Because let me tell you, if I were Mickey and some dude were putting a microphone up to my face and he was saying, hell, let's talk about whoever, I still probably wouldn't say what I would say if I didn't have a microphone up to my face.
Right.
It'd have to be secretly recorded. Then you start getting into the legality of, you know, is there one-party consent in that state, or does it have to be two-party consent?
And would you ever be invited to an event again?
No. Because if they think you're wired up for sound, man, you're never going to be around anybody ever again. Or if you are, they're going to be on their best behavior, and you're certainly not going to ever hear any more of those kind of stories.
Right. No one will want to be your friend anymore.
But you were there with Mickey.
Yes.
There were some really gold stories.
There were
that night.
And, you know, that's why you got to make sure you go to events when you can.
Yeah.
You know, all of your local shops, I'm sure, have at least some now and then.
There was a gold story shared at Pulpit Fest this year that can never, ever be said on air. You know, it was right here at this table.
I'm drawing a blank. There was so much going on.
That's probably for the best because I'm the one who said the story, but, you know.
You'll have to remind me off air.
It was over there. There was a comment about something over there, and then I relayed a story from my college days.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And that story can never, ever, ever be put on and recorded. And for good reason.
Follow on Mike's Aftercast.
No.
Where I will upload all of Nick's extremely embarrassing stories.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You show up to stuff like that, that's how you get that information.
Yes.
You know? It's fun. Anyway. Well, my, Rob. What the hell? I'm like looking at, I'm not reading right. Rob, thank you for the call. Sorry. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry. We had a Canadian with us.
Sir Luke throw out there. Okay, so, all right, so this person called, three times. That's fine.
Is it Teddy again?
No, it's not Teddy again. But I just wanted to make sure I got all of them that were current. So, all right, first call.
Hey, Nick, and whoever's riding bitch with you this month. It's me, Dave. Hey, Nick, I got done listening to the episode with the Big Jim, Pops, and I was struck with the idea for a show segment. I think you should just, have your dad call in or record or pre-record or whatever.
Oh, boy.
And just give him a topic that he could just shit on.
Oh, God.
Something he could just be curmudgeonly and just complain about, whatever it might be. And I think that would be uplifting for all of us to listen to. Your dad just sort of riff and rant about different things. So I think he's kind of got that personality. You see, I have this theory, Nick.
He'd be good at that.
And whoever's riding bitch with you this month, that for dudes, when we get older, there's two kinds of, you become one of two different archetypes. One is the
back in
guy
my day
who yells at kids that take off his, get off their lawn and gets real curmudgeonly about everything. And the other one is that gets a little crazy and loopy, and you take your pants off at family gatherings.
It's not my dad. Yeah.
And I think your dad definitely is the first of that.
Yeah.
He's definitely a yell at the kids, get off my lawn kind of guy. And I think it'd be kind of fun to just have him, riff on topics of the day. It could be entertainment. It could be stories, political stuff. I don't know, whatever. And I'm sure he's got lots of opinions about everything. So it'd be fun to kind of just hear him kind of, talk about those things. So it could be, the segment could be, Big Jim shits on everything. And and it could be sponsored by Gurkha Cigars.
Oh, fuck.
They're shit. Okay, that's all I got. Stay smoky. Talk to you later.
And I've shit on Gurkha Cigars many times on here, so it kind of works and is appropriate. By the way, going back to the previous caller talking about like cigars that, just don't work right and blah, 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 and do you complain? I mean, I do complain about Gurkha.
I've never smoked enough of them to really...
Oh, God, dude.
Because, look, no one sells them here in brick and mortars.
There's a reason. Yeah, well, there's many reasons. But, no, I bought that box of the Royal Challenge on one of those cigar auction sites when I first started up with this. And the challenge was getting through that cigar, man. It was fucking bad. But, no, you know what? I'll pitch that to him. It definitely seems like something that would be up his alley. I mean, he's not a total curmudgeon, but he definitely has his opinions. Like,
he could probably do a decent monthly Why Society Has Gone to Hell segment.
Oh, I know he could do that.
Hell, I can, and I'm only 46.
I know he could do that. He and I were talking just the other day. There's this video that I found on Instagram where this guy is like trapped in his Corvette. It's like a C7 or something like that, and the power had gone out, and I guess the doors are electric or something. So this guy's like flipping out and saying he can't get out. So he called the fire department. And he's telling the fire department to bust out the window. And they do. They bust out the window. And I send it to my dad. I'm like, this looks like a Corvette. I'm like, is this feasible? Like, my dad basically responds back. He's like, yeah, he's a moron. He forgot about the emergency release down by his left ankle. So, anyway.
Yeah,
whatever.
I can't imagine them making a vehicle that you can't get out of if there's no power.
Yeah, I know. I'm like thinking to myself, that should make it easier to get out. But whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I'll have to pitch that idea to him.
Be determined.
We'll see if he's interested. I mean, now that he's retired, he's enjoying that and the traveling and whatnot. So, he's having a good time. So, all right, next call from Dave.
Hey, Nick, and whoever's riding bitch with you this month. Just listening to the episode with Gervais. You guys are bitching about gas prices and rent and shit. Dude, I would love $4 a gallon gas. I would love that. I live in Santa Barbara County.
Oh God.
$6 a gallon here. A 3-bedroom home is about $6,000 a month, and a 1-bedroom apartment is $2,700 a month. So, it's all a matter of perspective, my friend. However,
sure is.
I am driving down the road right now, looking at the ocean and the mountains, not looking out my window at cows humping in the field like he might be in butt-fuck Illinois.
Yeah, I've never.
So, perspective, I guess. But count your blessings. $4 a gallon might be expensive. It's cheap for some people. All right. Stay smoky.
Oh, no, I fully appreciate the fact that our cost of living here is cheaper than yours. I can't say as I've ever seen cows humping in the field.
No, and I've lived in the Midwest all my life.
Oh. I mean, they got to get, guys with gloves up to their elbows to handle some of that shit sometimes. So, yeah. Well, Santa Barbara County. I have a Santa Barbara story. Not one that I'm going to share on the show. But, Dave, maybe one day if you and I ever talk, I'll tell you about the gal from Santa Barbara. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. All right, final call from Dave. Maybe.
Hey, Nick, and whoever's riding bitch with you this month. It's me, Dave, again. Hey, I was finishing up the episode with Nick Gervais where you guys are begging for calls for the Ask the Boys, and Nick asked for suggestions for the Villiger Entertainment Center, and so I just thought I'd throw out a couple things, see if you've watched them and what your take is on them. I've just got done watching them. Of course, I watched The Sopranos several times, all the way through, and then I was looking for something else, and I ended up watching Boardwalk Empire on HBO, and it's got Steve Buscemi in it. The main character, it's got that, I can't remember his name, Michael something or other guy that was in The Wire, played Omar in The Wire. He just died not too long ago from an overdose, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's like 5 or 6 seasons long, and I just watched one right after another until it was done. I enjoyed it. It takes place in Atlantic City, late 1920s, prohibition, bootlegging, gangster stuff. It's kind of fun. So anyway, that was a good one. And the other one, I don't know if you've ever watched, is on Netflix. It's called Top Boy, and it takes place in London. It's about drug dealers and gangs and stuff in London, and it's a pretty interesting tale. It's pretty good if you can get past the accents and figure out what they're saying. Put subtitles on. And yeah, so I was wondering if you've seen any of those two, and what you thought is of those. If you haven't, maybe you should check them out. Also, the episode where you and Pinky smoked the Aladino Limited, I had just smoked one, and I enjoyed it a great deal. I went back to my local tobacconist on the next day or two, and I got another one. The second one was so much better than the first. I don't know why. I don't know if it just hit me right. I don't know if it was just, the first one was good, but the second one was like, made me want to go think about buying the whole box, but then I realized it was like $18, 16, 17 bucks.
It's not a cheaper date.
I didn't do it. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there too. Something cigar related, something Villiger Entertainment related, and yeah, all right, keep them lit. Later.
Well,
now,
thanks, Dave.
If you don't mind me going first here.
Go for it.
First of all, I loved Boardwalk Empire.
Great show.
Another one in there is that Michael Shannon, who played Zod and Man of Steel and all that.
Yeah, as the federal.
That was like his first that I know of his big role. Great show, though.
You know what? Before you keep going and acknowledge the rest of this, why don't we do this? It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. Brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Do a little inception, do a little segment within a segment kind of thing here. By the way, speaking of Villiger Cigars, I am down to the near butt end of my Black Forrest here. Haven't really acknowledged it a whole lot because we've been doing the other stuff. What are your thoughts on it? I'm getting a little bit more spice in the throat.
A little more spice on the back end.
It's got a little heavier as
I lost the chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate's
taste.
Gone. It's more of just a spice and kind of
what you would expect out of a good Maduro.
Yeah, but the body is picked up a little bit too, I think.
I can't really talk to burn or anything like that just because
it's windy.
It is windy out here, and it has really affected the smoke. Although I did enjoy it on...
I went right at you.
On the Friday of Pulpit Fest when it was a little bit milder. And I can actually equate to what he was talking about the second time smoking it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I enjoyed it a lot Friday night.
Yeah.
And now smoking it again, even in this environment and talking and everything, anticipation does make it. You're able to pick up more than your first go around.
For sure.
At first no telling what you're doing, but now it's like, man, I remember I really liked it. Oh yeah, I didn't taste this before.
Yeah,
I didn't get this before. So I can see why that would happen with that Aladino Limited.
Well, because when the first time you hit it, it's like you don't know what to expect.
Right.
Second time, you're like, okay, I know this. Now you can start drilling down and really getting into the nuances of it. So, no, that's interesting. Anyway, so going back to the call. So we were talking about Boardwalk Empire.
Top Boy? I've never heard
of that. Never heard of Top Boy. I'll have to look for that. Because the one on Netflix that I keep meaning to watch and having is Peaky Blinders.
I've heard good things about Miss Cindy really liked that.
Yeah. That one kind of is also one of those ones where it's like, oh, if you like Sopranos, give this a try.
Yeah.
I do totally understand what he means about the accents and throwing on the subtitles. There's a show on there called Dairy Girls. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's about these girls. They're in like a school. I think it's either Ireland or Scotland. Holy shit, the accent on that is so thick. I mean, I tried... I'm not one to throw on subtitles if I don't need them. Some people, it doesn't. You could throw on like an American movie or something like that, and they'll still want the subtitles, just whatever. I don't really. That distracts me because what I end up doing is I end up reading the subtitles instead of
not
actually
paying attention
watching
to
the show. And so then I have to like focus on watching, and I've got all this shit going on at the bottom, and I don't like that. But with Dairy Girls, I had to turn on the subtitles on that. That was thick. So no, Top Boy, I'll have to look for that. And no, good suggestions though. Boardwalk Empire, I watched when I got HBO Max. The first thing I did was I burned through Sopranos. Then I burned through The Wire because I'd never watched The Wire before.
Right.
And I loved The Wire. And at that point, I was like, all right, what's next on the list? And Boardwalk Empire was next on the list. So at that point, I'm like, oh, well, shit. Like you said, there's Omar, and whatever else. And so, yeah, that was a fantastic. Both of those were fantastic shows, The Wire and that. And actually, there was a dude from The Wire in Tulsa King. Kind of the bigger dude that was on the cop team.
I never really got through all The Wire, and I haven't watched Tulsa King.
The last season of The Wire was not my favorite. I kind of feel like that show lost its way after Idris Elba's character died.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it was kind of like, all right, what else does this show have to do? And, yeah, it just kind of meh. But anyway, Tulsa King's good, though.
It is. I saw the first episode,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I just have not gotten back to it to finish it.
I gotcha. So what else you been watching?
One that I rewatched, and it kind of fits into what we were talking about, The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey.
Love that movie. Dude.
Came out at a weird time. Nobody saw it. I caught it on like Showtime or Stars.
Sorry.
And I was like, where was this movie? I know.
I
never heard of it. And then it's like, wow. And
I think I've watched that like 3 times now. And, dude, it's stylish.
Matthew McConaughey
Guy Ritchie. So
Matthew McConaughey is not douchey.
No, he's not.
It's like Dallas Buyers Club Matthew McConaughey.
He's decidedly not douchey. In fact, he's like kind of cold and calculated and kind of menacing and everything, and he plays that really well.
Really well.
Like, really well.
And you could really see him being that way over there in real life had he taken that choice in life.
Yeah. So
give that a try.
It
The
was
Gentleman.
That was a great movie. And if you like, who was the blonde guy from Sons of Anarchy was in that? As this little hatchet man guy.
I can't think of his name.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in there that you're going to recognize, obviously.
That bit when the guy falls out the window and they're chasing those kids to get the phones and shit. Holy crap, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
another one to check out would be Spartan with Val Kilmer. Came out early 2000s.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one either. But, no, lately I've just been still watching that I Think You Should Leave on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Tim Robertson or Robinson, one or the other. Dude, it's so bizarre. It is bizarre. It's really, really weird. But it's dark and funny and just kind of weird. And so I've been digging that a lot. I've got one more season to watch of that. The episodes are only maybe less than 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So you can blow through them pretty quick. And there's only like 6 episodes to the season. So realistically, you give it like an hour to an hour and a half and you're done with the season. So I'm digging it.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we appreciate the call there, Dave, and the show suggestions. Always welcome.
Always.
All right, so I think I'm all right. We're gonna move on to the next call. I'm gonna fire up another cigar though, because I finished that one. Final thoughts on the Dark Forest?
Really liked it.
Black Forest, not Dark Forest.
If you like Maduro, it's a definite buy.
It's a good one. It's got some good flavor notes to it.
Definitely creates a lot of more strength midway through.
Yeah, it picks up.
For me, it did. It really picks up quick.
Yeah.
I would prefer a Toro size of it. I think you could really catch more coming through out of it on a Toro size as opposed to Robusto. Especially outside.
I could see that. Noah paired one of those with a Guinness the other night here, and
he said it was really good.
He said it went really well. So
It makes sense with the chocolatey notes at the beginning.
Yeah, that would be good. So, all right, moving on to the next call here. Doo-doo.
Hey, Nick, it's Clay. And just wanted to call and give you a phone call for Ask the Boys. I know you hard up for those lately. October's coming up, and it's my favorite time of the year. And I was wondering if you would be interested in having the callers call in with spooky stories again. I enjoyed that last year. It was pretty funny.
I still owe gifts for that last year.
And I thought maybe a good topic of conversation for the Villiger Entertainment section would be maybe talk about some scary movie recommendations to watch. So,
well, you know that's right up my alley.
Those are a couple suggestions, and I don't know, man. Still waiting on that prize back from last year.
I know.
But, no worries.
I just said
I'm
that.
just giving you a hard time, dude. Anyway,
I own it.
Stay smoky. Hope you get lots of calls this time. Talk to you later. Bye.
Nope. You know what? I fully own the fact that I still have 2 prize packs that I need to send out from the spooky story thing last year.
Yeah, Trent was really bringing that up all weekend.
No, here's the problem. Trent's not even one of the 2. Trent's from a Christmas thing from a long time ago, and Trent will never get that prize because the prize he won will never ever be like produced again. So yeah, he missed out. Circumstances missed out on that. He can get something else, but he's never going to get that specific thing.
He can pick from the prize closet.
Yeah, the prize closet. But no, it's Clay, and I know I'm blanking on his name. He sent me a message the other day. I've got a Blackbird cigar, which I will send to you. I've got a macaw, and he wants that, and so as payment for taking a year to get him this thing.
You know what we need to find?
I need to track that down and get him that.
We need to track down one of the monsters. This year's release monster.
Oh.
And smoke for the show.
We could do that. Yeah.
Because I am a total horror film freak.
There you go.
This is my favorite time of year, so I definitely would like to do, maybe a top 10, or something like that. One of these, in the next few weeks.
We could totally do that.
Work that up. I'll put a little effort into that one, ahead of time.
Whoa. I'm not generally one to watch horror movies just because, I'm an extraordinarily jumpy individual. I don't know why.
Oh, I am too.
But
that's part of the joy of a horror movie is scaring yourself.
I know, but when it gets to the point, I don't know. I don't dig them when it's just cheap jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
For me with a horror movie, I like something that's gonna haunt my mind for a little while later. It's like I always come back to it. Like Hereditary, that's one movie that just it stuck with me. You're having some issues over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
sorry about that. I'm not trying to ignore you.
I don't know.
You had to bring up the looky-loos.
Mm-hmm. I know. For those of you, well, none of you know because you weren't standing here and he stayed off camera, but we did have a studio audience for a hot minute.
Am I on TV?
Exactly. You guys on the radio? Yeah, that happens sometimes here at Top Shooters. You get somebody that has had a few pictures and suddenly they're like, it's a radio show,
But they don't realize if it was a radio show, everyone would be hearing what we're saying.
Yep.
Outside.
And nobody does. Anyway, no, good suggestions there, Clay. I like it. And yes, I promise I will get you your cigars. And I do know the other individual. I have notes and everything at home. I just, I'll admit off the top of my head, I cannot remember who you are. But you want the macaw. I know you want the macaw. I've got the macaw. I will get you the macaw along with everything else.
Say macaw again, motherfucker.
Macaw! Next person that says macaw, I'm gonna. It's like, what's that restaurant you like, Farva, with all the shit on the walls? Oh, shenanigans. Anyway,
Super Trooper's a great movie.
I love that movie.
Didn't care for the second one that much, but
now I was okay with the second one. I didn't care for the ending of the first one. I felt like they had a good bit, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're fired from the force, and like it just, I felt like the back part of that movie kind of got a little weak. And to be honest, kind of the same with Super Troopers 2. I thought the front half was, it's them out being goofy cops. That's the fun part of that movie. You know, when you go and have them do like a plot, it
falls apart.
It falls apart. Anchorman's the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, Anchorman 1, love that movie. And then at the end, they're in the fucking bear pit and the dog comes along and is talking to the bear and convinces them to let him go. What the hell kind of stupid bullshit is this? You know? It's just, I don't know. That was another movie that I felt they didn't really have a proper ending to.
And Jack Black making it funny to kick a dog off a bridge. You can't, that's hard to do.
It is hard to do. And I mean, the Newsman fight in Anchorman 2 was just,
that was the best part.
It was the best part. It
got
crazy, but I threw a trident. It's like the ghost of Stonewall Jackson. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, we're still up on the sign. We just went by. A couple days later, we're still welcoming parishioners to Top Shooters. So, if you're in the Columbia, Illinois area, you have a home. So, Pulpit Fest is over though.
You can watch cows hump.
Yeah, apparently. So, all right, we got 2 more calls here. So why don't we go ahead and do that and close out this segment? Maybe.
Hey, what's up, Nick? It's Paul from Texas.
Hey,
I had
Paul.
the pleasure of speaking with you at Riverman. I brought you those Buc-ee's treats.
Yes, you did.
That caramel is still stuck in my mouth.
Buc-ee's.
Anyway, just wanted to say hi. It's been a while since we talked. Shout out to your dad. That was a good episode with your dad on there. I'd like to see him back. What do I got to talk about? 1.
We'll have him back.
Michael Jackson.
Oh boy.
Why has he not been canceled yet? I mean, Jeffrey Epstein did things with older girls, and MJ's accused of doing things with kids. I say that's worse. Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe he didn't have a trial, and so he wasn't found guilty, so they couldn't officially cancel him.
They didn't have a trial with
But if I
Epstein
can't
either.
watch The Cosby Show anywhere, I shouldn't be listening to Michael Jackson songs. I think what he did was a lot worse. That's one point. The second point is I know you are on the blind review panel for the Cigar Authority.
Mm-hmm.
Have you put any negative comments in there? Because I read all the reviews, and I part of the review process as well. And I've put some bad things, like this one had burn issues, or this one, you know, just tasted like plain tobacco. But it seems like from what they write up, there's nothing negative. And I think it loses a little bit of authenticity and validity if you don't put a negative comment in there. A cigar doesn't score at 88 because it tastes like chocolate and has a delicious scent of Oreo cookies or whatever crap they put in there, right? So let me know. I feel like sometimes I'm a little pessimistic in these reviews, but overall, the group's doing a good job. I'll be really curious to find out which one gets like a 95 plus rating, because as you saw, the 2 cigars that are over $50 matched the other cigars pretty much as far as the rating goes. All right, hang in there. Let me know what you think.
Appreciate the call, Paul. In terms of the Cigar Authority stuff, we'll touch on that for a moment first.
Okay.
The first review I sent in, I was pretty detailed, and I talked about burn line and this and that and whatever, and I didn't have a whole lot of issue. I did, have some funky burn line going in the beginning of that first cigar, but it did level out when I got into the second, third, and I noted that. And I think after seeing the final review where he compiled everything put together, I think that's when I kind of realized, okay, they're not looking for all that detail from us. They're looking for flavor notes, which I'll admit, part of me is kind of like, okay, if you're just looking for flavor notes, then asking 10 people, you're going to get 10 different responses. Like,
right.
I don't really quite know exactly what the point of that is. Or if he just wants to have us all give flavor notes and then assign a number or numerical value to the score so that he can add them all up, and then that way he can say, like, hey, I didn't give it a 90. The 10 people that did this gave it a 90 through their scores. Kind of get a little hands off, and then that way he doesn't piss off any manufacturers. You know, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, that they're handmade products. Some are going to work perfectly and some are going to work not so perfectly. There's going to be user error that comes into play. So, you know, without Dave sitting at all of our houses and watching us, you know, cut and light the cigar to determine if we're doing it properly and whatever else, maybe he's trying to discount some of that by not including notes about burn issues and whatever else. But I do feel like maybe I would hope that if a cigar goes out and let's say 8 out of the 10 people in that group notate and say, hey, this thing burned like shit, or hey, this thing, hey, you know, whatever. I would hope that Dave would notate and say, look, you know, if the majority of these people all say this, then we have to include this
right
in the review. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet, but I don't know. I would say keep being honest, Paul. Don't hold back. I mean, look, you know, he asked for your review. You're paying for the privilege of getting these cigars to give your review. So give your honest review, and you know, if you know, it might be one of those things where there's going to come a cigar that meets that level of criticism across the board, and
they'll have to include it.
They have to include it, yeah. So I don't know. I can see where Dave would want to keep it positive. I mean, look, if I were writing reviews and posting reviews somewhere, realistically, if I had one that burned like shit and tasted like shit, I wouldn't post the review. I just wouldn't do anything with it. You know,
right.
I'd chalk it up to, well, that was a bad experience. I'm not going to put out a review and say, you know, this one gets a 65 because it's a piece of shit. I mean, that's just...
Well, just like the first Villiger we smoked. I mean, if I was in a lounge and it smoked like that,
yeah.
I would have some things to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're out here on a very windy day, so I pulled the best things I could out of it because I know what it smoked the other day in a better environment, and it was...
Precisely. You got to take all that into account, you know.
Which is hard when...
Like,
I'm assuming you just get one cigar, or do you get 2 cigars?
We get 2.
You get 2, okay.
They do send us 2 of the same cigar. So, so you have one to kind of try, and the way I try to do it is that first one, I smoke and I take notes, but I don't necessarily fill out the form.
Right.
But the second time I have my notes, I have the second cigar, I'll take more notes, I'll compare notes between the two, and then I use that to fill out the form.
Just like the previous caller, he enjoyed his first Aladino, and then the second one was even better.
Exactly.
You know, and so you'll run into that too.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Now, as for the first thing he mentioned in his call, which was Michael Jackson. How has Michael Jackson
I forgot all about that part.
How has Michael Jackson not been canceled? But yet, you know, you can't watch The Cosby Show.
But The Cosby Show is still on a lot of places.
I mean, I haven't necessarily seen it, but I'm also not looking for it.
You don't? Are you? You're cut off though.
I am cut off.
See,
yeah, so
I've got cable, and there are a lot of stations
that still run the
Cosby Show. You can't find Dukes of Hazzard anywhere in the world.
Well, you know, you got that car, man.
Yeah, all because of a car.
You know, that's a real hard question, and it shouldn't be. I do think the fact that Michael Jackson never had a trial, that plays a role in it. You know, you have Emmanuel Lewis and Macaulay Culkin and some of these kids that hung out with him that all swear nothing bad ever happened. There's other kids that say otherwise, you know. So, like, and we shouldn't be discounting victims just because other people that we suppose should be victims are saying otherwise.
Right.
Because I think, did Corey Feldman come out against Michael Jackson? Or did he say that
I know he hung
happened?
out with him a lot. I mean, just by looking at some of the old videos.
I can't remember if he said Michael Jackson never did anything or if he said that Michael Jackson did do something.
I do not recall either.
Because he's pretty open about Hollywood and like the deviant fucks that are there.
If he's got something bad to say, he will.
He will. But I can't remember what Corey Feldman said about him. This is where producer Tom would come in handy.
That would have been great.
But, yeah, there's a documentary, I think it's on Showtime. I think it was Showtime. It was a multi-part. I don't remember how many episodes it was. But it was, let's have a conversation about Cosby.
Yeah, I watched that. And that was rough.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things of like, how do you balance the bad shit that he did with the positive stuff that he did, you know? And
he was also featured prominently on that The Secrets of Playboy documentary on A&E. Yeah.
Okay.
Along with a lot of other people that are still held in high regard.
Yeah. So I that is a real issue. How do you balance, or how do you come to grips? And I think ultimately that's the whole problem with
actually
cancel culture. But what? Go ahead.
It comes down to the money.
Oh no!
The people in charge, the people in charge of that music library, are still making a ton of money off him.
Tons of money off it.
So they're not going to rock the boat.
Yep.
And the people that are making money secondary from that, you know, like, hey, our radio station hasn't lost isn't getting complaints for playing Michael Jackson on our radio, or having Michael Jackson play in a stadium, you know, during halftime or a song here or there.
Well, I don't think he's doing that anymore.
Well, you never know, but I mean, like, in a football game, you know, they'll play just generic music.
Yeah. I
people aren't up in arms.
I'm like, I don't think Michael Jackson's doing any halftime shows these days. But
really, unless people are bitching and complaining and, you know, putting money at risk, it doesn't seem to hurt anything.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, unless you're hitting them in the wallet, nothing changes. And I think it's just one of those. And also, it's hard when it is hard when you've got somebody who, for generations, they associate with good things, with music they enjoyed while they were doing things that they, memories that they have of doing fun things with people. I mean, it's hard to reconcile that. I get that. Yeah, I think the lack of a trial definitely plays into it.
And non-disclosure agreements along with a lot of payouts.
That doesn't help anything. And to be fair, Jeffrey Epstein was never tried. We kind of know what went on there, but, I don't believe he was tried.
There's nothing you can cancel on him.
No, I want to say, he was just a rich guy who had an island.
Right. And the people that went down with him.
Now, that's the group that needs to be canceled, but we'll never get that damn list because every time we do,
someone dies.
Exactly. So
accidental hanging.
Yeah.
Suicide by knife in the back 15 minutes.
So I guess I don't have an answer for the Michael. The only thing I could say, man, is that until the outcry is enough, like Mike said, that it hits them in the wallet and they stop, I think it just has to be a personal decision. It has to be one of those things where you personally decide, nah, I'm out on Michael Jackson stuff, and you're unfortunately still going to hear him out and about in places.
And until people say, I'm canceling my iTunes because they carry Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the type of money outreach I'm talking about, where you got to cut off anything associated with Michael Jackson. And
I'll tell you, okay. Oh, this is gonna be a landmine one, dude. We're gonna have to negotiate. We're gonna have to navigate our way through this one carefully, okay? Because I know some people have opinions. I don't personally necessarily have an opinion, but whatever. Bud Light.
Okay.
There's an example of
people voted with their wallet.
They did. They voted with their wallet. And I'm not commenting necessarily on the right or wrong of whatever they did, but I'm saying that, like, there were people that had problems with that ad campaign. And let's be real, I think in the grand scheme of life, it was like a can given to that individual. It wasn't even like it was mass produced and available for sale, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
I was going to say, it was just a limited deal just for them. But it was a partnership kind of situation. Like, hey, we're going to give you these cans with you on it, and then, we just want you to promote the product a little bit. But, like, I don't think there was any ever cans with that person for sale.
I'm not aware of.
But the bottom line is, it hit them.
Yeah,
and
hit them hard.
The people voted with their wallet, and doesn't mean Bud Light's not available everywhere. Still is. But let me tell you, as somebody who lives in St. Louis,
you could buy it really cheap here for a long time. Really cheap.
Dude, I had friends where it was like, if you want free Bud Light, just go over to their house because they work for distributors, and the distributors were cleaning out the warehouse of, like, shit that was about to go bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, I got a pallet of Bud Light at my house. You want to come over and grab a couple cases? It's going to go bad otherwise, you know? So, I mean, financial protests do work.
Yes.
But you just gotta get a large enough group pissed off about it, and you would think everybody would be upset about diddling kids, but maybe it's one of those things where
out of sight, out of mind. When they hear the music, they don't really tend to go back to, hey, that's a pedophile.
And also, it's been a while, I'm not saying that excuses anything. He's dead. That, I think, also maybe kind of put the final, like, period at the end of that sentence too. I don't know. That's too cerebral and intellectual for me to be thinking about right now, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. That prompted some good conversation. I appreciate the call, Paul.
And Buc-ee's rules.
And Buc-ee's does rule. I haven't been to one, but I did enjoy the little caramel treats that he brought. Those were good. The Buc-ee nuts or whatever it was. We got one more call from Paul here, so hang on. Oh. Come on. Hit the... Damn it. Oh, my God. I can't hit this one button here.
Hey, it's Paul from Texas again.
There we go.
I got something again for your Villiger segment now.
Okay.
Do I recall correctly? Did you say something about having watched the new Flash movie?
I did.
I thought you said you watched it and you thought it was meh, but I don't remember.
It was meh.
If you haven't, I'm calling to recommend it. And if you have and you didn't like it, then I recommend to all your listeners that you guys go watch it because it was a very good movie. I thought I heard you talking about it, so I put it on, and I liked it, man. I thought it was one of the best superhero movies we've had since Iron Man, and since, a couple of the Thors were really funny. But I think this one had a lot of comedy in it, some mystery and shock value and surprises for sure. So I recommend you guys watch it. It's on HBO right now. I don't know if anybody else has it. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Well, Paul, I'm about to disappoint you here for a moment. So, you know what? Okay. There were aspects of that movie that were definitely entertaining. Did you watch it?
No, I did not, so I cannot comment.
All right. So, there were aspects of that movie that were definitely fun. I liked seeing Michael Keaton back as Batman. And he was less serious as Batman in this one. So that was kind of fun. You kind of got that, like, slightly goofy kind of Michael Keaton thing going on. It was a lot of fun. I liked the new Supergirl that they had in that. She was a little intense, but I thought she was pretty good. It was. I think it had a lot of potential. Special effects were less than awesome. They definitely, it seemed like they either cheaped out or maybe just were overly ambitious for the budget that they had with special effects. But be that as it may, my biggest problem that I had with The Flash, and it's so incredibly ironic, so incredibly ironic that you called and talked about Michael Jackson and why we should be canceling him.
Ezra Miller.
Now you're talking to me about The Flash and how good it is, and that's Ezra Miller. And I just brought up an article here that I'm going to kind of like skim and go through, as I go. But we're going to talk about all of the charges and allegations that Ezra Miller has gone under. So, he began making headlines in 2002 for a string of arrests and criminal charges, including disorderly conduct, harassment, and felony burglary. He also has been accused of having an abusive relationship with activist Tocata Iron Eyes that began when she was underage. He uses this is a quote, he uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs to hold sway over young adolescent Tocata. Paperwork filed by Iron Eyes' parents in June of 2022 read, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribal Court granted temporary order protection against Miller on behalf of the North Dakota native. They accused him of physically and emotionally abusing the youth leader. Several months prior, the parents taking action against Miller, the New Jersey native, so Ezra Miller, was arrested in Hawaii in March of 22 and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. According to the police report there, he was at a karaoke bar when he began yelling obscenities and became agitated when people began singing karaoke. He was fined $500 for the incident.
Who doesn't get agitated when somebody sings karaoke?
That's fair. Weeks later, he was taken into custody after allegedly throwing a chair at a woman's head.
Who hasn't thrown a chair at a woman's head?
I mean, whatever. That happened at a get-together at a private residence on the Big Island of Hawaii. The police determined he became irate and began asking to leave, and after being asked to leave, reportedly threw a chair, striking a 26-year-old female on the forehead, resulting in an approximate half-inch cut.
Ooh.
Those are not his first instances of behaving radically in public. He is, while he was on The Stand, the miniseries The Stand, Ezra Miller apparently yelled, spit, and interrupted the director while filming the show in late 2019. Most recently, he's been charged with felony burglary in Stamford, Vermont. There was a May 1st, 2022 incident in which several bottles of alcohol were taken from a residence when the homeowners were not present. Yeah. So, look, I mean, I'm not saying that that we ought to just straight up cancel the guy, but I mean, dude,
he kind of does look like a douchebag too.
Yeah, the whole grooming of the young gal thing, out of all of that I just covered, that has always struck me as the most egregious. And the one where, again, going back to my answer about Michael Jackson, that's where I kind of have to draw the line. I still went and saw The Flash. But, yeah, that was more for Michael Keaton. I didn't really want to do it for Ezra Miller. If Michael Keaton wouldn't have been in that movie, I would have skipped it.
Okay.
But, but in terms of the movie itself, was it entertaining? I mean, I didn't check my watch at any point during the movie. I didn't, I wasn't like completely bored out of my mind. I mean, it was an all right movie. I'm not going to say it's going to ever win any awards for anything, but I mean, it might. I don't know what for, but it's
sound editing.
Exactly, something like that. But no, I like I said, Ezra Miller was always my problem with that movie, and it just kind of, and then the fact that there's two of them in it, I'm just like, oh God, So, yeah, Paul, that's my rant on The Flash. So, anything to add?
Like I said, having not seen it, I really can't. Jump in.
Now, I will say, if you're looking for another superhero movie that's not a Marvel movie, that is, in my opinion, better than The Flash, go see Blue Beetle.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
That one, and I don't know, for all I know, that's on streaming, either now
if
or
not,
very,
it should be soon.
Very soon. That was really good, and that had a lot of good messages to it. You know, very pro-family kind of messages. You know, the special effects, I feel like in that were, I think they were a little better. You know, they still seemed a little like sketchy at times, but dude, it's computer special effects. I mean, you can only do so much.
And the subject matter leans towards a lot of special effects.
It does. I mean, it does, especially, and The Flash definitely did. But and I will say that I've seen the trailer for the new Aquaman movie that's coming out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that looks good. I know Amber Heard's in it. I don't know how much Amber Heard's in it. I will admit, I'm not really thrilled about Amber Heard being in it. But such is life. It is what it is. I'm not one to just avoid. Generally, you got to do something pretty fucked up for me to completely avoid seeing something that somebody's in because of that person.
Right.
You know, Ezra Miller was right on that line. And Michael Keaton was enough to throw me over. But, yeah. Amber Heard and But see, Johnny Depp's so weird, too. I'm kind of like, they kind of probably brought it on each other to some degree.
Oh, I got to stop you there.
Okay.
Finally watched that piece of shit Tusk.
Okay. Bring it on.
Total crap. Oh, my God. That was horrible. When you said Johnny Depp, I was like, oh, my.
But, dude, okay. Wait, Johnny Depp wasn't in Tusk?
Yeah, he was.
The Walrus movie?
Yeah.
Where?
He was the guy that led them to the home at the end and was going to shoot him with the shotgun.
Was he really?
That was him, yeah. Look it up.
Holy fuck.
That was Johnny Depp.
Holy shit.
I think he lost a bet to Kevin Smith and had to appear in a movie somewhere of his.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy was Johnny Depp.
All right, I got to Google this because, I do not remember that being Johnny Depp.
IMDb time.
Tusk. Come on, fingers work. Have you noticed that? Maybe it's just me. I've been having a lot more trouble with typing than... Boy, he's not... Are you sure?
I am positive.
IMDb. Let's go to IMDb. Top cast, we got Justin Long, Haley Joel Osment. Son of a bitch, Johnny Depp.
Don't discount me when it comes to actors and movies.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, I did not notice that was him.
Which does go to his acting ability.
Yeah, no.
You got to really know what you're looking for. I could get it when he was talking because it reminded me of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas type speech.
Oh, when he was doing his Hunter S. Thompson shit.
Because he was definitely in that type of mode. God. Now you're going to have to rewatch that crappy movie.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I went through it once. I'm just going to trust you at this point. But, yeah. Well, folks, if you haven't watched Tusk, still haven't ruined it for you. You still could go and check it out.
and look for Johnny Depp.
And look for Johnny Depp. Well, guys, that's been this month's Ask the Boys. Appreciate all the phone calls. We had some good ones this month. I think it went really well. And you can get your calls in for next month where, somebody will be riding bitch with me, according to Dave.
I'm either a non-existent or a bitch.
I'm just saying, Dave's saying somebody's riding bitch with me. I know, the Smoking Butts guys are interested in doing this. It's just a matter of scheduling. I know Pinky has talked about the idea of doing, Ask Pinky. So, whatever. So, yeah, guys, get your calls and questions in. Call on the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. So, I obviously finished my previous cigar,
Yes, me too.
And we have both since lit up.
I went with a Nica Rustica Adobe.
I went with
Gordo.
my
Or Gordito,
Crux
I don't know what they call it.
Epicure. Oh, God, these are all backwards and shit. Okay, whatever. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Crux Epicure Habano. And just something to smoke, for the remainder here. But now it's time for this.
Contestants to your corners. It's time for a super fight.
So we're going to do a special Pulpit Fest edition of Super Fight here. So we're going to have a three-way match. Three-way tag team match. All right? So in one corner, we're going to have Luke and Noah taking on, in the second corner, Teddy and Trent. And then in the last corner, we're going to have Travis and Dave from the Smokin' Butts crew. All 6 of those guys made appearances at Pulpit Fest this weekend, and it just kind of seemed fun. So what we're going to do is Mike here is going to draw attribute cards for those teams. And we're going to draw 6 attribute cards. So each person on a team is going to receive an attribute. Now, if you want to shuffle those around or do whatever, feel free. And, then from there, we're going to talk out how this fight is going to go. It all depends on the attributes.
So I'm going to go with Trent and Teddy first.
Okay, Trent and Teddy.
So this would be for Trent, correct?
Yes, this will be for Trent.
I don't have my glasses on.
Trent gets Wall Crawler. So Trent is scaling walls like Spider-Man.
Okay. And this is for Teddy?
Teddy is a piñata.
Ooh.
So apparently when you beat up on Teddy, he explodes and gives you candy.
And vibrators.
Vapes and vibrators. That's what you get when Teddy explodes, is vapes and vibrators.
All right. So who's the next two?
Let's do the Smokin' Butts guys now. So we'll go Travis.
Travis
throws antiques. So he can throw antiques at you. And Dave can't stop dancing.
All right.
So, okay.
Now this will be...
this is going to be Luke and Noah.
So we'll go Luke first.
So Luke is on a pogo stick.
I can see that.
It's a Canadian thing. And Noah can teleport but goes blind for 10 seconds after each use.
Ooh. That could be a tough one.
Could be valuable, but it could also be those 10 seconds that cost you.
All right.
So.
And they're all going at each other at the same time.
Obviously not the teammates, but yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, it's. Are we doing that, or are we doing like tag team to where like one of them's got to be in and the other one tags in the other one? And
I say let's just do tag team. We've probably got a lot of wrestling fans.
Okay.
It makes more, sense.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be more like a battle rumble, and that just feels like it'd be chaotic.
Confusing.
So yeah, okay. So who are we starting with from each team here?
Let's go with number 1 from each team are in the ring at the
Okay,
same time.
so we got
Teddy?
This is Trent, who's scaling walls like Spider-Man. We got Travis, who is throwing antiques, and we got Luke bouncing around on a pogo stick. So
I think Luke gets taken out first.
Well, yeah, because Travis is going to throw an antique at him.
Right.
He's going to chuck a lamp at him, and it's going to knock him off.
And if you give Luke a large margarita from the United States, he's not going to see it coming.
Especially if you load him up with biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and then you give him that margarita, he's logy and drunk. So, yeah.
And
let's be real, he's going to be apologizing every time he tries to hit somebody, too.
Right.
It's like, oh, sorry.
And once hit, let's see, what's the first one?
Wall crawler.
Well, the wall crawler, I don't see how that helps you in a ring.
I was just about to say, it does not help Trent in this situation. Because unless you're doing like a steel cage match.
Then anybody can wall crawl.
Exactly. We didn't specify that. I think Trent drew a power that, quite frankly, doesn't really help him too much here.
No.
So
I see both of them tapping out to their partner very quickly.
Very quickly. So let's just say Travis is in there chucking antiques at everybody. He kind of like puts them on the edge. So now you've got Teddy, the piñata, tapping in for Trent, and you have Noah tapping in from Luke, who can teleport, or Noah can teleport but goes blind for 10 seconds after each use.
Now, for me, I can see Teddy maybe taking Travis down and making him tap. And here's my theory.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, but he's a piñata.
Yeah.
So he's not really getting hurt when the antiques are flying at him and busting him open. He's just there.
Yeah, but if he's getting busted open.
But a piñata doesn't die, really.
I mean, it falls apart.
Maybe.
It also depends on how hard Travis is throwing.
Right, because some piñatas are a bitch to open
up. And I will also say, Travis, I'm just going to say it, buddy. Travis used to be a big guy, and he's lost a lot of weight. And he's kind of been avoiding. But the man loves his sweets. So all Teddy has to do
is get him distracted once and just pop down on him.
Exactly.
Because
maybe Teddy breaks off a finger and just chucks some like Tootsie Rolls
and
at
if
him
you
or
remember
like that.
our conversation from Saturday night,
yeah,
Teddy is one of those guys you can tell you do not want to get hit by.
Oh, yeah.
So he distracts him with the candy and pops him in the head.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, being blind for 10 seconds, doesn't matter how good you are at teleporting, you can't strike right away and you'll get hit.
Yeah. So maybe it's one of those things. Maybe Noah teleports out of the way of a blow from Teddy as he's charging at Travis. He's sitting over in the corner blind, hoping nobody attacks him. In the meantime, Teddy takes down Travis and takes advantage of that 10-second blindness to get the pin on Travis. Meanwhile, Dave's over in the corner dancing like a dancing queen, just saying, tag me in, tag me in, tag me in, but he just can't make it.
Yeah.
I think that's how that...
I think Teddy makes it, a victory for them.
Well, Teddy at least takes out the Smoking Butts team.
Right.
So now we've got...
Does he wear himself out trying to hit the
Smoking Butts team? But that's the thing. How much damage did Piñata Teddy take to where, can Noah now use this as his advantage?
Now, once again, I'm going to go to the candy on the ground. The distraction.
Yeah.
When he teleports, I believe he would slip and stumble on that candy, and Teddy just goes to the ground and just takes him down.
You don't see Noah trying to tag Luke back in, thinking maybe Luke could, use the pogo stick like a bat and, beat Teddy with it?
No, because he says he's bouncing on it.
Okay.
I'm going to take it quite literally.
Well, it actually just says on a pogo stick.
Even worse.
But still, I mean, he can't, I guess, get off said pogo stick.
I just think that candy on the ground throws way too much distraction and obstacles in the way of a blind man for 10 seconds. So you're just straight up
giving this to Teddy.
I'm saying Teddy knocks it all down.
You're saying Teddy is the deciding factor here.
That's my opinion.
Okay. I can't necessarily disagree with you. I think whatever team has Teddy has an overwhelming size advantage. He is kind of the Andre the Giant of this group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if he's, puffing on a vape and swinging dildos at you as he's coming at you,
I wonder if that's a card in there.
Something about dildos?
Smoking.
There's blank cards. We can make it one. We can make it the Teddy special.
The
Teddy special. Smoking a vape,
dildos.
Swinging dildos. But anyway. All right, well, I guess that would be the super fight. We're giving it to Teddy and Trent. You guys, we believe, and I gotta also give it to Trent anyway, because let's be real, he's a Georgia boy that went driving through East St. Louis on a Saturday night, so the guy's got to have some guts.
He does not scare easily.
Evidently not. So I just feel bad for Dave. He's just over there just dancing away in the corner, never even got a shot.
Wears himself out dancing too much.
I could see that. I could see that. Well, that would be the Pulpit Fest super fight.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, now that we've done that, let's hear about this. This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks. That was highly unfortunate. I exhaled a whole lot of smoke, and right as I inhaled, the wind blew all of it right back at me, and I just felt this giant, ball of smoke just go right down my throat.
I heard you on...
I was like, oh, God. Oh, God. It's like, that tastes badly. Anyway.
Yeah, the smoke's blowing right at us.
Right at us, yeah. No, and I also want to thank Nick Gervais for providing the fucking good coffee for Pulpit Fest this year. Once again, he sent over a wide variety of little sample packets for everybody to try, and it was greatly appreciated. So
definitely.
Once again, want to give a shout out to him. And you can get your own fucking good coffee and cigars over there at mymonthlycigars.com. Now, he's hanging out with the Cigar Authority guys at the New England Cigar Festival this weekend. He chose to skip Pulpit Fest to go into the New England Expo.
There's a lot of difficult decisions this time of year on where to send your spend your time.
There are. I don't know if that was necessarily the most difficult decision to make. It's like,
Well, and he's a lot closer to them too, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know where he's at.
Well, I can tell you, he's in Cleveland. So let's just for shits and giggles here. So let's go Cleveland.
That's probably an easier flight to St. Louis than out there.
Let's go Cleveland to Boston. Cleveland to Boston.
About 6.5 dozen another maybe.
Well, it's a 9-hour and 48-minute drive. It's a hour and 40-minute flight. So now let's go.
But there's a lot that has to be done from Boston to that event.
Oh, for sure. And then now let's go. It's a 8-hour and 33-minute drive here, or it's an hour and a half long flight. So he's pretty much equidistant between us and them.
But it's a direct flight probably here and a rental car.
Yeah.
30 minutes on the road.
Yeah.
Whereas you fly to Boston, you're probably 2 hours away?
From New England?
From
or
Boston?
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Boston to the... No. Boston is actually relatively close because they're right on the border of New Hampshire.
England just confuses me.
See, I'd have to... Now I got to Google again. So if we went from Boston to... Let's just go to Salem, New Hampshire, where the first shop is. That is It's an hour and 6-minute drive, but right now it's due to traffic. But yeah, it's like an hour drive.
Okay.
From Boston to Salem. So, yeah, he's got a little bit more drive time there, but once he's there, he's there. So, it's kind of still splitting the difference.
Yeah.
I feel like. But, yeah, no, I get it. He can't be at two places in 2 weekends.
No.
Whatever. So, anyway, well, in terms of the socials, I'm available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit, as well as on Facebook, where we have the Cigar Pulpit Parishioners Group. I'm on Twitter /X at The Cigar Pulpit. Don't really do much there. On YouTube, where you can watch this. We haven't had anybody come out and say hi.
No.
That sometimes happens. Well, we had the one guy.
He revved it up as soon as he was leaving.
Oh, was he the motorcycle? That explains it.
He was wanting a free bumper sticker.
We don't do bumper stickers. Anyway, he wanted to request Freebird. Anyway, good God. And then, ask the boys. It's that time. We just did this episode, so I need a new crop of calls for next month. Area code 863-874-0000.
It'll be the end of October. It'll be Halloween. What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, God. Me? Exorcist.
Well, no, for the boys.
Oh.
Trying to help out. Yeah. Just a bitch over here on your right that doesn't exist.
You're riding bitch. I that's a good one. What's your favorite horror movie? And you know what? Even though I completely have shanked it and still haven't sent the prizes from last month, if you guys want to do the call in with your scariest story, feel free to call in. Have you had a spooky encounter that you want to share with us? We could do that again. I mean, people called last month or last year and it didn't quite work out. I don't want to hear the same stories again, but I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, call in with your favorite horror. You know what? Top 3 favorite horror.
Okay.
Top 3 favorite horror movies. Call in with your top 3 favorite horror movies, and we'll go from there. So
awesome.
Anyway, well, Mike, do you have anything else for the betterment of the cause?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything today.
All right. Well, guys, thank you again for all the great calls. This was a good crop of calls this month.
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, Teddy couldn't remember his question for the longest time, but he figured it out. And anyway. And otherwise, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky.
More cowbell.
More cowbell? I could see that. I don't know. Never mind. I thought I had something. I don't have anything.
Okay, Teddy.
All right. Later, guys. Yeah, exactly. Bye.